God's the gardener, and he looks down, and so many times we make it way too complicated about what God is looking for. We try to define worship at what would God want out of worship. We try to define discipleship class. What would God want out of discipleship classes? We try to define missions and everything else. But what would God want from this and that? And then we wind up splitting all of our other ministries. All of our ministries of our church are going in different directions. They're not connected to each other. They're not talking to each other because they're all trying to define in their own way what God's up to. What does God want? What did God call us to do? Can I tell you this? He's the gardener. He's called us to produce good fruit in every way we possibly can. And Jesus makes it clear. You can't do that unless you have good in you. And you can't do that unless you're born again. Some of you this morning, you've heard about Jesus. You live in the Bible Belt. Somebody you know has talked about Jesus. For most of you. Some of you, maybe the first time you ever heard his name. I don't know. But if you don't know Christ, can I tell you this? He's been pursuing your life since day one. He had a call and a plan and a purpose before you knew who you were. And he is desperate for you. He wants to come into your life. He wants to change your life. See, he loves you where you are, but he loves you too much for you to stay there. And it's simple. In a moment, I'm going to tell you how he changed my life. And then you can decide today if you want him to change yours. Now, here's my fear. My fear is that there's a lot of us in here, many of us in here, who have been living a double life. But the enemy doesn't like how you're reminded of who you are when you come here. And so he tries to remind you of who you were when you go there. And then we praise heaven on Sunday. And we live like hell on Monday. So I told you got a choice. The choice was coming. Now the choice is here. It's time to love God and hate sin. And it's time to live as who you were called and intended. You know, we'll amen when we say Jesus died for you. Amen. Jesus died for you to live a better life than what you're living. So now it's time to say, Jesus, I'm done with the split personality. I'm done with the two ways of living. I'm done. And you know why? Because you're miserable. Search your heart. You know it's true. You're absolutely miserable. Sometimes you can't sleep at night because of what you did that day. At the time it felt good, but now it doesn't. It's not even who you are. And when nobody else is around, you struggle to remember who you were. So come home. Let him remind you. The him who created you. The God, the Father, who made everything like that. Let him remind you what he had in mind when he knitted you together.